G'day there guys, it's Connie here again, and we're back with some more stories from Reddit. As always, if you enjoy these videos, be sure to hit like and subscribe, and also the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Alrighty, let's get right into it. Okie dokie, this one was posted on a couple different subreddits, including Am I Wrong and Relationship Advice. It was written by user Get a Life, and the first post is titled, Am I Wrong in This Fight? My wife and I don't fight much, and when we do, we usually communicate well afterwards, and things go back to normal. I brag to my friends about how reasonable my wife is, and her ability to communicate and empathize is something I deeply admire. She doesn't hold grudges. She talks me through my rough times. Until now. Due to a fire, my wife is out of work, but still earning her salary. Thanks, insurance. We decided she would stay home with our young son while out of work. She doesn't love child rearing, which is something we knew going into having kids. Honestly, it's hard to tell. She's a great mum, present and loving even when I can see she's struggling inside. I give my wife a lot of breaks. We co-parent, split bedtime routines for our two kids. We both pull our weight. Yesterday was a snow day. My daughter was home with my wife and son. I was working from home downstairs all day. I helped my daughter with cyber school until noon. My wife was with my son in the snow all morning, ploughing the drive and sidewalks, etc., maintaining the house. My daughter joined them, and from the sounds of things and some videos, she brought her friends over for playing and hot chocolate. I worked until around 5, and when I went upstairs, it was chaos. My wife was doing laundry and helping my daughter, who fell and hurt herself on the ice. She sent home the friends, and we had dinner. I did the cleanup, and right after finishing, keep in mind I've been downstairs working all day, not even a bathroom break after noon, I go into the playroom and my wife approaches me. It goes like this. She says, "Hey, can I go lay down for a bit?" There may be offense. I admit I made a face and said, "I haven't gone to the bathroom all day and I put cookies in the oven." I can tell I messed up just by the face she gave me. She says, "Fine, never mind, forget I asked, heaven forbid." Now I'm sensing some attitude and know I've misstepped here, so I say, "No, it's fine, I'll take care of it all, go take a break." To my complete shock, in front of our kids who I admit aren't paying as much attention, but are still close, my wife says, "I said never effing mind, I've been running around on my feet all day watching our kids and other people's kids, and heaven frickin' forbid I ask for 20 minutes to myself." I again say, "Go take a break, I told you it was fine." But she's clearly lost her marbles and is seeing red. She starts cleaning up and helping with the kids, and I do too. I tried to overcompensate, but she just took over caring for them, and they listened to her. In the hall, I said, "I think you forget I work all day," and she viciously says, "Thanks for reminding me, I almost forgot." I feel like an ass. I get that she works hard caring for the kids, but I work hard too. I think not having her job and escape is making her reaction to this fight worse. She texted me the next day with her usual communication. She expressed how upset she felt with my behavior and the way I acted towards her. She said she was feeding and taking care of 6 kids all day in the snow alone, and still cleaned the entire house and deep cleaned our craft room. I explained that I'm stressed at work and that I didn't get why she's so upset since I offered her a break, but she said, "I don't want your pity breaks." She ended it with, "Thanks for the apology, by the way." Which, yeah, I didn't exactly apologize, but for what? And then she asked for the number to my daughter's piano teacher. The piano teacher was the only activity that I managed for my kids. I found out she texted her asking to go through my wife from now on, as she'll be managing the schedule. Normally, my wife would text me asking if I can get my daughter from dance on my way home yesterday. I do this every week. I didn't hear anything, and when I got home I found out my wife dropped and picked her up. I confronted my wife with, "I am very present with my children. Do not make me out to be an absent father." My wife responded with, "If I didn't manage and ask for your help, you'd see them a quarter of the time you do now, and I'm done managing you." I get it. I should have just smiled and agreed when she asked for help, but this is extreme. She's having a fit and trying to ice me out of my relationship with my kids. It's so petty. It's like I don't even know this woman. Gone is the reasonable level-headed communicator. So if you've made it this far, thank you. And please, please tell me if I'm wrong here. I understand, especially when you work from home, it can be hard to psychologically differentiate the two. You know, like if the wife sees you sitting at home all day, even though you are working and doing your job, it can be hard to not see it as, sitting around and not doing the household chores that you should be doing while you're at home. That being said, it really sounds like OP is not pulling his weight in regards to the kids. Like the fact that he said he only books piano lessons for the kids and that's his only activity associated with them. Like, come on man, you gotta do a little bit more here. And it sounds like she's really stressed out, hence her reaction. Let's go to the comments. Quote, she's having a fit and trying to ice me out of my relationship with my kids. You have that backwards. She's been trying to prevent you from icing yourself out of a relationship with your kids, and now she's done putting in that effort. Seriously, why the ever-loving slarty Bartfast does she need to remind you every week to pick up your daughter after dance? Why? Did it not occur to you to use the calendar on that spiffy smartphone you no doubt own and set an ongoing reminder for the pickups? That's a pretty strong indicator you seriously don't care about spending any mental energy on your family and expect your wife to be your personal secretary. You're not her boss, and she's also not your servant. You are in fact supposed to be her partner, not another child for her to manage. It's definitely not about the Iranian yogurt. Edit, yes, you are wrong. The icing on the cake was throwing around a childish expression after she told you she needed a break from the kids. Absolutely brilliant work there. If she said she's done managing you, that means she feels like you're adding to her stress, and it's easier and less stressful for her to do things on her own without asking you. That's not a good sign, but it's fixable. Perhaps you need to take initiative and know what's going on and what needs to be done without her having to ask you or interact with you about it. Yes, you work all day, but it's not helpful to highlight that. You're fueling the idea that this is a competition, and it likely inspires resentment when you do that. For example, when she asked you about going to lie down, you could have just said, "Okay, but first, can you just give me a few minutes to go to the bathroom?" Opie comments when being told his wife is stressed. Thanks for the response. Her reaction is so out of left field. She really is usually the most reasonable person I know. It's been stressful for her, and I admit I'm also so stressed at my job that I didn't see it. I figured a few months off paid would be a luxury, but yeah, now I see having 6 kids and a toddler alone all day might be as luxurious as a barrel of hair. Guess it's my turn to be the empathetic reasonable one. She's done it enough for the both of us. And OP on being told to take the initiative and give the wife a break. You are 100% right. I normally do say that. She asks me for a break at least 3 times a week to take a bath or go read, and I almost always immediately say yes. It was just an off moment, and I know I reacted poorly, but she's completely trying to ice me out. I had to argue with her this morning just to let me take my kid to school because she said she'd do it, and the kids just went along clinging to her, and then when I pushed back, my kid started crying for her. She had to calm him down and insist going with Dad is fun, just to undo what she did. He was fine with going with me, but it's messy and so unnecessary. I'm scared with her behaviour. I love my wife and I don't want to push her away. Opie comments on his wife's schedule. My wife has 2 days during the week without my son or daughter. She's been painting the house and deep cleaning. My son has gone from 8 to 2 and my daughter 9 to 3 Monday and Friday both. I think the snow day broke her, but hopefully she'll come around and be sensible. I've never known her to ice me out or stop communicating, and it's freaking me out. It's a little bit why I think there's more to this fight. Okay, now for a separate post on relationship advice titled, "Told my wife that she couldn't do it without me. Turns out she can." I made one stupid selfish comment to my wife a week or so ago, and now my life is in disarray. My wife is in some crisis. Her work is closed and she's being paid, but she's home with our kids now, including one 3-year-old. She gets breaks on Monday and Friday with childcare. We went into having kids knowing she wanted to be a working mother, so this has been an adjustment, to say the least. On to the OG fight. She spent a long day with our kids and the neighbouring kids, and when I came upstairs from work and she asked for a break, I didn't respond well. I made excuses and didn't offer help, and for the first time in years, my wife lost her temper and cursed at me. Like an idiot, I dug in and I thought I was right. I admit we both said some unkind things, but after Reddit humbled me and she made me sit down and write a list of things I did for the family that day and compared it with her longer list, I apologized. She accepted and I figured things would go back to normal. They haven't. My wife used to include me in parenting our kids. I did dance pickup most weeks and bedtime was split. I gave baths, made dinner, all this stuff. Since our fight, my wife hasn't asked me for any help with the kids. The first morning I woke up on what was supposed to be my morning with the kids, I figured she was just being nice or trying to prove a point, but it keeps happening. She didn't even send them down to say goodnight last night. Normally my wife does this silly game where she sends my son to ask me to read 5 books, and then we would negotiate down to 1 or 2 and race upstairs. Last night I heard her racing him and came up to find her doing bedtime yet again. The kids haven't even noticed. It's like she's replacing me. When we were fighting, I said something really dumb that's living inside me and festering. My wife was being nasty and said, "You wouldn't see the kids a quarter as much as you do if I didn't arrange it, and I'm done managing you." I defended myself. I'm not an absent parent, and said something along the lines of, "I'd like to see how long you can manage without me." Consider my foot officially in my mouth. She started running again. She's cooking really healthy and often. Every night I come home to my perfectly happy Stepford wife doing it all without me, and I feel empty inside. How do I fix this? I don't even know where to begin. At this point, I want to beg her to go back to how things were. This wasn't what we agreed on. And in the comments, I don't know, step up, get involved without her organizing it or instructing you? Are you really this daft? He replies, "It's difficult when they prefer her, and she seems to do everything better than me. I work often as well. It helps to have her give me a heads up on the plan with the kids, but I'm getting now that maybe that's done and over with." But he doesn't know what to do. If she doesn't send the kid to him with an instruction of what books and how many are to be read, how is he supposed to know what to do? OP, that wasn't a silly game. That was a woman noticing you were never going to just go read your own kid a book. So she made it into a game for the child, so the child doesn't have to watch his mum come over to dad and say, "Please read him a book, for the love of God, please." Because that would give the kid an inkling that you're not doing it out of your own free will, and if not instructed, you would not do it ever, and that could be upsetting. Opie replies, "Okay, I admit, this hit me hard. Frick man, do you really think that's what the game is? I hate that it makes sense to me." Opie comments on once again being told to do more. "I'm freaking confused, okay? I had this perfect life with an amazing successful wife and a great job. We juggled 2 careers and 2 kids like champions, always communicating who is where, doing what activity, working together to manage the American dream of doing it all. Then my wife's job burns down and she's home all the time doing everything. She gets stressed and we fight, and now she's totally different. I don't give an F about warm meals and a Stepford wife. I want my wife, my partner, my teammate, and yes, my frickin' manager back. She was amazing, and now I managed to screw it up like always by sticking my foot in my mouth. She's still perfect, only now I know she's not doing what she wants and that I've failed her in some way that seems to have broken her, or maybe fixed her. I don't know, like I said, I'm confused and apparently an idiot." OP when asked if maybe his wife wants an equal partner. "You won't believe me anyways. I've been with my wife since we were kids, 15 and 16. I know this woman. She loved doing it all and she was amazing at it. She always bragged about being a working mum, but she never put down women that stayed home. Her mother was a stay-at-home mum that got married super young. My wife didn't want that life. We used to joke about her earning more than me so I could stay home. She never complained about the kid schedule either. She did drop-offs at daycare and I did pick-ups. We had a rhythm and flow. I think not being home during the day with them made her soak in the time at night more than maybe I did. I don't know, but I honestly think she was happy." And Opie again explains his wife's work schedule. "My wife works with animals and makes her own schedule. She can schedule days off whenever, so she's more flexible. She is home to take the kids into daycare, and then I would pick them up and drop them at my mum's, and my wife would get them around 4. She does not need to work. I pay the majority of the bills. My wife's job earns less, but that doesn't make it less worthy. She actually affects the world. I just type at the computer all day and deal with air emissions. My wife works to pay for daycare. It's her big expense. I do mortgage and everything else. She also uses her money to buy stuff. She has full access to my account and often transfers money when low. I do not have access to her account. It's a personal boundary of my wife's that she always has her own private money. I don't need or want that myself, so she manages most of the finances. My wife has traumas around being stuck as a homemaker and baby maker." Okay, now Opie adds an edit. "Frick guys, I get it. I'm a piece of crap. I'm going to make this right. Thank you to the handful of people that reached out with advice. Believe it or not, I do want to be a good father and husband. I've royally messed up and I see that and fully admit it. This is going to be my only edit, and then I'm going to get off my phone for a while and focus my attention on my family. My wife had dinner cooked when I got home. Everything is fine between us, so there wasn't any tension. After we cleaned up, I went upstairs and ran my wife a bath, put Taylor Swift on her Alexa, and lit a few candles. I told her to go relax upstairs for the night. She was surprised, but smiled and went on her way. I'm currently on the toilet watching my kids take a bath. People mention love bombing, etc., but I'm just trying anything I can to show her I do appreciate and love her and our family, and I want to be a present father. I'm going to do bedtime tonight and probably all next week. I'll tell her she does so much during the day and deserves the break because it's the truth. I get that I come off as an a-hole. I grew up in a not great situation and didn't have the best role models growing up. I'm terrified of my children not having enough, and I overcompensate by working too much. This new job came with a big pay increase, but the hours are longer, and I feel like I can never keep up. I've reached out to a few recruiters tonight. I used to love my job and was always home by 4:30. Even if it means taking the lost income, I'm thinking about going back. Relationships are hard, and humans aren't perfect. For all the people telling me my kids don't love me and I'm a waste of space, I don't know guys, just remember I'm an actual person. That crap's rough. Anyways, that's all I have for you folks. I need to watch these kiddos and start planning out my long road of groveling and reconnecting. Thanks all. Yeah, I get the concern about love bombing, but honestly, what else is OP meant to do here? I personally think OP's on the right track, even if it did take him a little bit. He adds another comment. Back on after a while, and I see this comment right away. Thanks for asking. The update is slow moving. My wife and I had a few nights of talking and crying that have helped make us stronger. I know everyone hates me, but I do love my wife, and had she ever expressed an unequal workload before this fight, I would have put in effort into learning about it and fixing it. As it stands, we agreed to therapy. My wife feels like her reaction to our fight was out of her norm and wants to start her own therapy to help. I fully support that. I also do weekly therapy and find it helpful. Boy, was this week fun for my therapist. Anyways, I looked deep into weaponized incompetence and unequal mental workloads and have come to realize I'm essentially another head to manage for my wife. We agreed to be partners in this life, and somewhere along the line I lost that thread. She still claims she wants to manage our schedules, but I don't want to be that husband or father. I have always thought my wife was amazing and looked up to her. WWAD, or what would my wife do, is my motto. I want to be more like her, so I need to learn how to manage myself and my time and my kids' time without her help. I've asked to take on parenting responsibilities 100%. I didn't realize she needed to do so much crap. It's been eye-opening. I don't know how long we'll keep this up either. My wife isn't the biggest fan of handing over the reins. Reddit's hate has lit a fire under my ass. Having so many outside people looking into the situation and simultaneously getting the ick from me has been humbling. Another comment, he says, I think I'm going to go with what my wife and I decided in terms of deciding what's realistic or sincere. I wanted to see what it felt like to be 100% in control of everyone's schedule and making sure to take care of it. It's incredibly difficult to constantly be reminding myself of the time and who needs what and when, but it's also been humbling and rewarding. We both know it won't last forever, and we'll get back to finding our new healthy medium. Things won't go back to before, and they won't stay like this forever, but for now, I'm taking over doctors and school duty, and when we sign up my son for kindergarten next year, I'll be doing all the work for that and making sure I'm fully involved in the things I missed with my daughter. I'm going to be a better dad, and that's just final. Yeah, there's nothing quite like hundreds of internet strangers grilling you in the comments for you to wake up to yourself. Okay, now for a new update. It's been a minute since I bothered with Reddit, but when I logged in, it seemed people cared for an update. It's not exciting. I've taken a lot of time to really look at the man I've become. My wife and I are 100% back to being a team, but I've realized I wasn't stepping up the way I always wanted to. I promised my wife a partnership, and even though it's been a month or so since our fight and my wife keeps asking me to forget it happened, I can't. My therapist is helping me sort through my overthinking. My wife started therapy because of the stress losing her work temporarily and staying home has caused. Her issues appear to stem from feeling useless without bringing in a paycheck and was taking on too many tasks at home to overcompensate. She doesn't feel like she deserves breaks, and when she takes them she feels awful about herself and like she's lazy. Coming from the least lazy person I know, I can tell she's struggling, and I've been supporting her the best I can. I often make sure she knows I think she deserves breaks, so when I see her hyper-fixating on cleaning the floorboards, I intervene gently by reminding her that this doesn't need doing right now, but that I'll finish it for her while she does me a favour and takes a little break. Sometimes it works, and other times she tells me to stop fussing and leave her to work, and I do. It's been working well, and I don't mind the extra work for the peace of mind it offers me. My wife is my everything, and her happiness is paramount. My kids are mostly clueless to all of this. We don't involve them. And I must say, I made a throwaway comment about my wife not loving child rearing and received a lot of nasty comments about not having kids we don't want. I'm wary to dignify this with a response, but will say what I meant was that we agreed before having children that my wife would not be the sole support system for them, and that she would never feel obligated to quit working. My wife is fiercely independent due to her past, and a big part of her comfort in our relationship comes from her ability to leave it safely if she ever needed to. That trauma is hers, and I won't touch more on it other than to say I agreed to this aspect before we married and do not mind it. She should be an independent person. I'd want the same for my kids. So that's basically it. I've taken on the role as primary parent. I get my kids to daycare and school and home, and while my wife helps half the time, it's now my responsibility to see who is doing what and coordinate things. I can't do it all in my head like her, but I have a chart that's been helping. She rebelled at first, but gave up the reins surprisingly easy. She needed a break, and I also put my son back in full-time daycare, although my wife keeps springing him early. I can tell she likes the break. That's all I have for now. Thanks guys, and sorry it's not more dramatic. I know some of y'all wanted my balls and were hopeful my wife would leave me. While I would be lost without her, and the thought makes me physically ill, it's nice to see people appreciating my wife the way she deserves and stand up for her so fiercely. Thanks all. One last thing. I bought her this game, Pal World, on the computer. She hasn't gamed since having kids because of some preconceived conclusion that made her a bad parent, but I insisted she spend a few hours, and since I'd spent money, she did. I find her playing a lot to wind down when the day is over. It seems to be helping her feel more herself too. So thanks video games. I'll stand for a lot of assumptions on my character, and boy have there been some nasty ones. But one thing I won't take is people saying I don't love my wife. She's my person, and it's my duty in life to make her happy. And now for a final new update. Evolving. I say evolving because I can't say I've changed. It's not been long enough for that. I posted a while ago on Reddit to vent. I was angry about a fight I'd had with my wife about something stupid I'd done. I'll be honest, it was multiple stupid things. After a lot of strong opinions on here and some heavy reflecting, I didn't even know my kid's doctor's name, I had a perspective shift. I decided I wanted to be more involved, more of the primary parent. My wife agreed, so started handing me the reins, starting with registering our son for kindergarten and all of my daughter's activities. I work from home and am flexible and honestly enjoy being the one to get my kids on and off the bus. Now I am the one they call when the kids are sick. Even when they do bother my wife, she'll call me because I'm closer and I'm free now. I am homeroom parent for my son this year. Bring the office ladies eggs. Got the background checks for volunteering. Shark Shop from 11:30 to 12:40 is a perfect way to spend my Tuesday lunch break. The kids still prefer mum sometimes, but wow, has it made a huge difference. So, if you can, dads, be the primary. It's worth every second. And some final comments. I had a coworker once tell me his wife wasn't letting him teach his son basketball. I asked how can she possibly stop him. He said something to the effect of her not getting the kid ready or making the time to go to the court or getting the kid's shoes. His mind was blown when I pointed out this idiot could take his son to go get all this crap. You're acting like a man's man here, and you're sending your wife, who has never played, to pick out basketball equipment for your firstborn son? He acted like I was being ridiculous. I knew he was the problem when he admitted that handling the piano lessons was the only activity he managed for the kids. Haha, my dad said my mum was too emotional and scatterbrained to be able to manage without him too. He died and she became a total boss. Turns out that without 48 years of some a-hole telling you that you're stupid and incompetent, you do just fine. The way my head exploded in the first couple posts where he kept saying things like, "She's cutting me out of parenting, she never asks me to help anymore. She never sends the kids to me for help anymore, and she never tells me what time they need to, etc." Like he typed all that, starting with how his wife never wanted to be the primary parent so they were equal partners, and it never occurred to him that he could step up and actually parent his kids without being asked or told or handheld. I hope his changed perspective lasts. Yeah, as do I, and it seems that way, at least regarding the last update. Sometimes a kick up the arse is all you need for a newfound appreciation of, your partner and your life in general. Anyway, guys, I'm going to throw it over to you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, that's it from me today. Hope you guys enjoyed that story. Thanks for making it to the end, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good day. Cheers.